in our state. New Mexico continues to have the most indigenous people disappearing or being killed. Now, the governor took steps to address this back in 2021 by expanding the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Relatives Task Force. But suddenly, that task force is gone. Cassie Foote spoke with someone who served on that task force today. So, Cassie, what happened there?
Well, Darlene Gomez was on the Community Impact Committee for the task force. She says she was told it was ending months ago, but had a hard time believing it. She never received anything in writing or saw any public notices, and Gomez believes the work was just getting started. For a state leading the nation in missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, the creation of a task force to address the problem brought a lot of relief to Native families in New Mexico.
Any glimmer of hope that these families had, we're not going to have it anymore.
That's because the task force was suddenly told its work was done. Even though Darlene Gomez says there are still 180 families in our state trying to find either justice or their loved ones.
If we have completed the task and we no longer have a problem, how come we're number one?
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham created the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Relatives Task Force through an executive order in 2021. The order states the task force would develop a state response plan to address the crisis. Gomez served on its Community Impact Committee. As an attorney, she advocates for victims' families.
These families deserve to be in mainstream America telling their story.
Gomez says she and other members learned the task force was ending in June. However, she, nor the families the task force served, ever received official notice.
I don't even think some individuals know.
Still to this day?
Still to this day.
We reached out to the state's Indian Affairs Department. A spokesperson says the task force completed all the direction outlined by the governor in the executive order, including developing a state response plan. And the task force was only intended to be temporary. Gomez posted the news to her Facebook Thursday after an article on the task force's end was published. Her phone started ringing.
Let me just turn this off. I'm sorry.
That's when we had the opportunity to also speak to Vanjie Randall Shorty on the phone.
It's been hell. It's been a nightmare. You know, I have to get up every morning and force myself to live, to move forward, and still be stuck in that part of my past, you know, where I don't have any answers.
Her son, Zachariah Shorty, disappeared from Farmington in 2020 and was found dead days later. He'd been shot multiple times. She's worked closely with Gomez for years.
I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, what does this mean for the families? What does this mean for Zach?
And Gomez says, sadly, many other families feel the same.
They're still waiting and wandering, looking for them and looking for them. And I would just ask each one of you to think about what you would do if your sister went missing, or your mom went missing, or your brother.
The Indian Affairs Department rep says the work on this problem is not stopping or slowing. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and Indian Affairs Secretary-designate James Mountain are reportedly working to implement the task force's recommendations. I didn't get a response as to whether all the members were notified that the task force was ending.
So does Gomez even know why the end came so abruptly?
So she believes it's connected to Secretary-designate Mountain. He was charged with sexual assault 15 years ago, and some task force members spoke out when the governor appointed him, and that charge was ultimately dropped.
All right, well, we'll keep asking and seeing what we can uncover there. All right, Cassie, good work. Thank you.